What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is The Punisher, Season 2, Episode 10, The Dark Hearts of Men. So, um, yeah, a lot of build-up in this episode of that final scene. A lot of glimpses of what was to come, while also flashing back a little bit as well. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, there's not a whole lot to dissect in this one. It's a lot of kind of Frank and Curtis talking and basically debating what they're doing and kind of flashing back a little bit as well to some of the old time of Frank and Billy being together in the army. A lot of Madani talking to Dumont about, kind of comparing Billy and Frank. So yeah, it was a lot of build up to that final moment where we see, Billy sets it up where Frank shooting after him ends up killing these innocent women, which actually I'm kind of like, that was a lot of blood for like one spray of bullets. So I do kind of wonder if Billy just literally killed them and put them in the office and then made Frank think he killed him. I I don't know. I doubt it, but at the same time, it could also be plausible. And then on top of that, somehow he gets the police involved. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, yeah. I mean, it was overall a decent episode. I was kind of getting a little, I guess, antsy, and I know that's bad. Because sometimes it is good to sort of sit and talk about things before you get into the action, because you want to understand these characters more and their motivations. But I will admit, mainly because Dumont was involved with half of it, a lot of it was just me kind of like, okay, like I get it. We're battling this dilemma of, is Frank better than Billy? Is he a better person, or is deep down are they the same? And that's kind of the whole point. And I just feel like they talked about it a little too much. But that may just be a me thing, and again, it's just possibly because I don't like Dumont at all. I think her character's trash, and then hearing her try to fight for Billy's side, I'm just like, no, you're an idiot, because Billy is out there killing innocent people just willy nilly. He killed Frank's family for no reason. He's a worse person. Frank is who he is because Billy killed his family. So yeah, Frank is a better person than Billy. He is going down a darker path, but it's because he's kind of losing himself a little bit. Deep down, he's still a good guy. He's willing to kill, he's willing to take lives, but he's doing it for a good reason, for a good purpose. Whereas Billy's just out here, he wants power, he wants money, he wants the ability to control these people and be like, I'm in charge. He wants that feeling of being in charge and being worthy, basically. So yeah, there's no comparison. But of course, Dumont is completely lost because she's in love with Billy, and so she doesn't care that he's such a bad person, because he's not that bad deep down, is he, guys? And that's why I don't like Dumont's story. If there was another reason for why she's doing all this, she's the one that comes up with the idea that Billy goes through with at the end, where he sets it up to make it look like Frank does all of this. And I'm just like, why? Because you love this guy? So you want to bring down his enemy who's better than he is? That's your reason? You just, I don't know. I get the idea that she doesn't. Actually, I don't even really understand. There's a part of me that's like, it's got to be for more than just, oh, because she loves him, right? Like, she can't have been a therapist for this long and then just completely go against everything that therapists stand for this one guy, right? Like, it's got to be more than that, right? Right? I don't know. I just keep hoping that there's something else to her. There's something else that we don't know about that's giving her kind of a purpose for why she fell for Billy and why she's helping him and all of this stuff. But all I can think is, that's it. I'm not seeing any evidence that convinces me that it's anything more than just she loves him, and so she's convinced that he's great, and anybody who's against him is terrible, which means she thinks Frank is terrible because of that. I'm just like, you're an idiot. You're so dumb. Ugh. So anyways, yeah, aside from that one thing, I mean, the rest of the conversations were good. They were insightful. They gave us a little bit more depth on the characters. The final scene was pretty intense as well. Frank, he ends up getting the drop hat on him, even though he thought he was going to get the drop on Billy. So it's kind of an interesting little flip around where Billy knew what they were going to do, was basically keeping an eye on them, and then turned it around on Frank and actually managed to get the better of him in that moment. But then, of course, Frank, it's almost like he doesn't really have superpowers, but if he did, his superpower would be the worse shape he's in, the worse situation he's in, like the more beating he takes, the stronger he gets. Because I swear, like, he always sort of, he does okay at first, like he's a strong guy, you know, he's very good at fighting and stuff, but he still takes a beating. But it feels like the moment when you think, okay, we've beaten him enough, surely he doesn't have anything left in him, all of a sudden he has more strength than he ever had. He just, it's like going berserk, you know, like the old Vikings, how they would build up this rage that was so intense that it was almost like they couldn't feel pain and they could just take on the world. That's almost exactly what this is. And so it's just so gripping whenever he's in that moment where he's been beaten, he's bloodied, he looks like he has nothing left, but then he uses that rage and it's just like it's over. You know, you thought you had him and suddenly you don't. And so then of course he goes after Billy. Curtis, kind of an interesting story there because he shoots at this one guy, but he keeps telling him, like, go away, I don't want to kill you, like, don't make me do this, and then he shoots the guy in the leg, and then that ends up, like, severing some sort of artery that makes the guy bleed out, and so he dies. And I do think it's going to impact Curtis in a way, because unlike Frank, he's not one that's like, I'm just going to take lives in this war. He wants to try to stay out of that part of it. He wants to try to not have to take lives, but in this situation, he had to save his life. And even then, he still tried to save him in the end. So I think it's probably going to affect him in a negative way. I don't know how. I don't know if he's going to like try to pull out of this and be like, look, Frank, I don't want any part of this anymore. I had to take a life and I don't want to do that again. Or if it's just going to kind of, I don't know, if it's going to push him more to be like, we need to take Billy out because this has got to stop. Like, I can't keep doing this, so he's got to go so that way these innocent men don't keep getting brought into this. I don't know. I hope it's the latter because that would make it more logical sense rather than, oh yeah, let's just not help Frank to take out Billy so that way Billy can keep getting this power and getting more guys in his group. But anyways, that's about it for this episode though. It was good. We only got 3 more episodes left. It's getting close to the end. It's going to be intense. I don't know what to expect, but here we go. On to the next episode. See you there. Now, episode 11, The Abyss. So, things are definitely starting to heat up a little bit as we near the end of this season. And, yeah, I mean, all good moving pieces aside from Dumont still. And I don't know, just, I know I've complained about Dumont a lot this season. Even with this backstory, still not interesting to me. Like, yeah, she's crazy. Cool. Still says she's doing all this for love. Like, yeah, you do crazy things when you're in love. Hercules quote. There you go. But this is cold-blooded murder. She's always been this crazy? She's always just had this inside of her and Billy just brought it out of her because she loves him. Oh my god. Like, you literally just said, hey, Billy, kill these women and frame Frank for it. I'm okay with it. I'll still do you because you're hot. My god. Like, do you not realize that you're insane and this is a therapist we're talking about? Oh, man. Yeah, anything with her, like, I can't stand her. Can't stand her character. Can't stand the way she's written. She's one of those characters that she speaks in a I'm holier than thou tone while also being the worst of the worst. You know, willing to be in bed with a sociopath, willing to be in bed with a crazy murderer, willing to convince this crazy sociopathic murderer to murder women and frame it on his best friend because she wants to help him. And then she'll still talk down to Madani like, no, I've got the high ground here. I've got the moral high ground. Frank is a terrible person. And Billy, yeah, Billy's bad, but Frank is worse. So how dare you support Frank? I know I'm in bed with a murderer, but how dare you? And I can't stand people like that. Honestly, our country is filled with them right now. The people that are terrible people, and yet they talk down to everybody else around them because they feel like they've got the moral high ground when they don't. There's a lot of people out there like that, and I hate them. They're terrible people. So, yeah, Dumont's the worst. I can't wait till she dies. I hope she does. Please let her die. But aside from that, you know, a lot of this episode is just about Frank dealing with this idea that he killed the women. Karen and Madani go and find out that he didn't do it, thanks to this weird Emmy that's in the morgue. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's deal was, and apparently he wanted to wear. Oh, excuse me. He wanted to wear Karen's shoes, and that's what he gets for helping them. He was such a weird character. I'm like, is this supposed to be funny or is this supposed to be weird? I can't honestly tell. Like, at first it seemed kind of funny, but then at the end, whenever he like blocked the doorway for Madani to leave, and starts like, yeah, people think I'm creepy, but you know, they say it behind my back. I can hear them. I'm just like, okay, now this is feeling more like kind of horror, like I can't think of the name of it, but like that one film where is it Split that I'm thinking of? I haven't actually seen it, but just the previews where like James McAvoy's character is like talking to the girls. It's kind of the feeling I was getting as he was talking to Madani. I'm just like, yeah, you're creepy to me now. So I don't know what that was about, but anyways, but yeah, so that whole thing was just basically getting Frank back in the fight and be like, no, you didn't kill those women. I honestly thought it was going to take a little bit longer to figure that out if it was the case that Billy killed them and made it look like Frank did it. Because I don't know, I just felt like we'd have a couple episodes with Frank dealing with this. And I guess I'm glad in hindsight now that they didn't do that, because Frank dealing with it was just him wallowing in despair and like, kill me to the next person that comes in. That's not exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. I thought it was going to be much more like actually him dealing with this and we get to see that, not just him sitting in a bed going, I'm just like, it's not as interesting to me as somebody who actually is visibly and or even audibly, you know, even when we get to hear him talking about it a bit. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't get enough of that. But anyways, aside from that, we also see Pilgrim. I actually forgot to talk about him in the last episode because he's going through his relapses. You know, he's drinking again. He's doing drugs. Had this weird moment where goes to a room next to his and like brings a hooker into his room. I guess he killed the guy that had the hookers in his room. Maybe, I don't know. And he just kept seeing his wife. And then in this episode, we find out his wife died, and that's kind of pushed him. I really don't know kind of what his motivation is anymore, because even he's kind of like, I don't even know this guy. You know, he's doing this for this family, but then this family lied to him about what's happening with his wife, and she had to come tell him in person. And the fact that he didn't get to be there, it's not because of something he wanted to do, it's something they wanted him to do. So it's really their fault that he didn't get to see his wife, but they're still blaming it on Frank, like, no, he's the reason why you're here. He's the one at fault. So I kind of thought it might turn into like he was about to kill the woman. Like, no, I'm doing this because of you. Like, I'm only here because of you. I don't even know who he is. He's not done anything to me personally. But then he just throws his room apart and then still goes to kill Frank later anyway. I don't know. It was weird. I'm just like, okay, so he's not turning against him. I thought that was kind of what we were starting to see there. But anyways, let's see, what else? The cop that came in to kill Frank, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would have been much more like, oh, if the guy hadn't walked up, hat off, creepiest smile in the world. Like, it honestly reminded me of like, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of like Jerome on Gotham, like whenever he's, I'm pretty sure there was an episode where he dressed up as a cop. That's literally the image I had in my mind, because he walks up, he's like, how's he doing? And I'm just like, what are you, Jack Nicholson in The Shining? Like, you wouldn't walk up and talk to your like partner or coworker like that. You know, if you're a cop, you're not going to walk up to somebody who's a dangerous killer, like, hey, how's he doing in there? Oh yeah, I'm not going to do anything creepy or weird, or definitely not going to go kill him. No, you can trust this creepy ass smile. I'm not a killer. I'm not going to go kill him for $5,000. Like, I feel like it would have been a much more impactful scene if it was just a cop walking up. He's like, hey, how's he doing in there? He's like, I don't know. I haven't checked on him in a little bit. Why don't you go check him out? All right, I'll go check. He goes in there, locks the door, and it's like, oh, wait, what? And much more sympathetic, like, that money's going to do a lot for my family, or something like that, you know, not a, you killed my cousin. He's, oh, you're just putting out your arm. Oh, okay then. Like, it just, I don't know. It was a dumb scene to me. It was just like, this is ridiculous. It's like they wanted us to know, oh, this isn't a bad, like, this isn't a cop. This is just a weird guy who happens to be a cop. Just so you know. Like, okay. Um, and then at the end, there's something with Mahoney. Don't really know what's going on there. I assume we'll find out, obviously, in the next episode. But yeah, he manages to get to Madani, who's helping Frank get out, and he has him at gunpoint. And my first thought is, Madani, why don't you let him know? Hey, one of the cops just tried to kill Frank. Like, I was there, just tried to kill him for this bounty that's on his head. That's why we're getting him out of here before somebody else can come. Doesn't mention that at all. And then he says this line he's like, you're not the only one that gets to do crazy stuff, or you're not the only one that gets to be crazy. I don't know. I don't know what exactly he's planning to do now. But I guess we'll find out as this next episode happens. But I don't know. It's some weird parts in this episode, and then the stuff with Dumont is still just not enjoyable to me. But overall, I mean, I'm still excited to see how this all plays out and what it's all going to end with. Like, is everybody but Frank and like Karen and Amy gonna die? Like, is Madani gonna die too? It's like, what all is gonna happen? I don't know. But it feels like it's definitely gearing up for an epic conclusion. So, anyways, with that being said, that's it for these 2 episodes. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 2? Let me know. We can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe, future Punisher reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.